Maintenance and repairs, some of the most important things once you do get a property and, you do have a tenant in there. So, number one, you got to have a good lease, right? So your lease should state everything about what happens in whatever crazy case, right? Or just broadly, right? So you always take care of maintenance stuff, right? To keep the property up, keep it livable, right? That's your responsibility as a landlord. But let's say like something breaks because they damage it, then it should say that they're responsible for it, right? There should also be something in there that says they're responsible for the first $100. So that way you don't get calls about a light bulb going out at like 2 o'clock in the morning, at night, whatever. Not that that would ever happen. It's just a part of the lease that I think is really important. It's in all my leases. I've never even had issues, but I've heard people having issues, right? So having a good lease that kind of draws a line on what's right and what's, who's responsible for what. Systems, right? That's the next important thing. So with our property management company, we use Buildium, right? So the tenants know that if something breaks, there's an issue, whatever it is, they go on Buildium, they pay their rent, they do everything through Buildium, right? But if something breaks, something happens, they go on Buildium, they fill out a service ticket, it gets sent to us, and then that service ticket, right away they get a response saying that, thank you for a service ticket, someone will be right on it, right? And as soon as that service ticket gets assigned, that goes to the maintenance guy. The maintenance guy then goes and takes care of the repair, whatever is happening, right? So having a system is super, super, super important, and training your tenants to use that system correctly is very, very important. Obviously, if there's like a fire or something crazy, you gotta, sometimes like it's crazy to have to think that if there's a fire, they should probably call 911 first and then call the property manager. But actually, I heard it was either today or yesterday, that someone said the person in their place, the house caught on fire, and they called the property manager first. The property manager's like, okay, so the fire truck's on the way. And they're like, oh no, I haven't called him yet. They're like, what do you mean? So making sure that you have the right systems in place is very, very important. I lost my sticky note. This keeps happening. So, screw sticky note. What happens if you don't have a property management software like we use, right? Like Buildium. You can use other websites there's one, cozy.co, I've talked about it before. You can collect rent, you can do maintenance requests, you can do all that stuff through there. Just so that way if something happens, and they just remember for some reason at like 3 or 4 o'clock, you or your property manager, whoever, well, if it's a property manager, who cares, right? But if you're managing it, you don't get a text or a call whenever they remember at whatever crazy time it is that, hey, the door on the cabinet is whatever, hanging weird or about to fall off, right? So having that system in place is super, super important. There's probably a ton of other companies that do that stuff for free, like Cody.co is free. That's why it's cool. But, this is mostly if you do this stuff yourself. I always did it myself until, you get to so many, and then you kind of have to build out a system for it, because if you just do it yourself, you can't scale up, right? So that's the most important thing, is having a good lease that mentions, who fixes who in what situation or what case, and you should have a good lease, obviously. That covers you for all sorts of different stuff, not just the repairs and maintenance stuff, but and then having a good system in place, right? What the tenants do in case of X, Y, and Z, and then how it gets handled, right? So I hope this video helped, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.